Like I feel like the
Mhm.
heart and soul of this movie is Eduardo Saverin. Is the like he's the one with
Yeah.
all the the emotional core of this movie.
Mhm.
I
But
feel
then you look
the
up about
book was based on his story.
yeah, the accidental billionaires. But you look up
Right.
like Eduardo Saverin and who he was and his relationship to Mark Zuckerberg, and they didn't seem to have that much of a brotherly relationship at all.
Yeah.
I've read
Probably
about
not at
them.
all. It's
Yeah, it seemed actually that Mark Zuckerberg was scared of him because he had ties to the Brazilian mafia and stuff. Like he just kind of
Shit.
asked him.
that sounds like more
Yeah,
speculation.
like he kind of just asked him for money, and then he went off to New York
You know
and
how
did
these things go.
nothing. And like Zuckerberg was just like frustrated with him and cut him out of the
I
company.
don't know if he did nothing. He probably was trying to get something going, but it's very difficult at that point.
From what I
because
read,
essentially it's just a $500,000 company. Nobody gives a shit.
I read a few articles. Like I read quite a few articles about this. Like it seems like he just like he did what Mark Zuckerberg did to the Winklevoss twins in this movie. He just started ignoring his emails and didn't respond to him in New York. But he needed his vote on stuff. And he couldn't get his vote, so he cut him out of the company by diluting his shares.
It's the thing. Everyone has their story, and the four people in it will all have a different story, and then like none of it will be true, and combinations will be true, and parts of it will be true, but like this the haze of war and like
I'm just glad we got this movie out of it.
It's true.
Like I think the real story is probably a lot more boring, a lot more dry, but I'm glad we got a really great dramatic movie out of it. Even if it like hurts Mark Zuckerberg's feelings, I don't care.
It's telling a story of the era, and it's telling the story of the rise of these tech companies too, and like kind of how they get incubated, and like even if it's Yahoo or Google or any of them, it's kind of like the same sort of like it's usually a dropout from Ivy League or Stanford, and then they get funding from Sandpiper Hill, and then but they don't talk about pets.com, and they don't talk about the 1,000 companies that fail for everyone that makes it, right?
But it is a little bit of a fantasy as well. Like this scene, like that I've set not as my background, but as the big background where
the party
where
scene.
where they're taking shots and doing code. Like you want to be there, you want to be in that room. Like it's such a at least I do. I'd want to be in that.
It's very. And like, there's a lot of like that's how Silicon Valley was at
it's very nostalgic.
It's not like that as much anymore though, and but there was, and this is the other thing about the Bay Area. There are people starting businesses and innovating in their garages everywhere all the time. Like even from the time I was growing up, like if you have a neighborhood with 300 houses, there's 10 people. Dads getting home from work after work, and they're trying to do some crazy technology thing, right? It's just the vibe. And so that's why it's such a great incubator. And like they are smart to get the fuck out of Harvard and New York or Illinois or Austin or Massachusetts and come to the Bay Area to build stuff like this, because
Silicon Valley,
the combination of mental freedom here combined with the weather and the amount of people that it draws. In a lot of other cultural incubators, you're not allowed to be free of mind as much as in the Bay Area. You know, like for example, like the way he dresses, and like you know the way they run the business. Like a lot of that stuff is not smart, but it leads to smart things because people are more free.